ecological in as much as, because by raising up the water table and surrounding riverbanks, then you'll find that vegetation colonises those riverbanks, and you can plant grasses. In fact, you should plant grasses along the riverbanks to protect the riverbanks and stop the river spreading too much. But that provides a valuable source of fodder. And we did a control study of measuring the net vegetation index over time using Google Earth of sand dam sites and non-sand dam sites, and there was a significant increase in vegetation density around sand dam sites, especially obviously in droughts and dry season. So as a climate change adaptation method, we think it's got great promise. Right, so that was one. The siltation, I would say that's a failure. That's another way it can fail. You don't. So your foundation should extend wider than the width of your annual flood, because if you don't do that, there's an opportunity for the annual flood to erode down and undermine your foundation. Okay, so on either bedrock or an impermeable layer needs to extend wider than that. So that hasn't done that. The other thing that it needs to do is, so the central spillway is kept within the main river channel. So for the majority of the time that the river flows, it's within the main river channel. So you're keeping the position of the main river flow in the same way. The velocity is fastest in the middle and you don't allow it to spread. But you've got secondary and on larger rivers, even tertiary spillways, second and third spillways, to control annual and lifetime floods. Okay. Which, in the lack of hydrogeological data, is done by observations and, which I can come on to, and quizzing local people on their experience, especially local elders, on what's the highest flood, which normally corresponds to some El Nino event in Kenya. What's the biggest flood that you can ever remember on this river? How high did it come up? How long did it last? And also, on a normal year, what's your biggest flood that you normally remember? And that's how we would design it for that. Yeah, you mentioned what my second was about sand dams. The potential to harvest water from seasonal rivers. What conditions are required for their siting, some of the factors to look at in design, how they're constructed, how the water is abstracted, some of the benefits or uses that people put them to, some of the factors that influence how cost effective they are, some of the ways that they can fail, and then briefly we looked at other opportunities to harvest water from seasonal rivers in different geographies. So, for example, water spreading weirs or spate irrigation, or just abstracting the water from a sand river without a dam. Or I also flagged up some research we've done on basically adapting seasonal river road crossings so that they act as sand dams, so that you're combining the advantages of a more resilient road crossing with the opportunity to harvest water. And anybody wants to learn more?
You should be on radio, that's exactly what